Hello, welcome to General A and P. It's going to be a quick 7 weeks for all of you. So I want to take a couple minutes and give you a tour of Blackboard and kind of what the expectations are over these next 7 weeks. So this is, my name's Kevin Yoakum, first of all. I'll talk a little bit more about that in just a second. So yes, this is fast paced. It's asynchronous. We do not have any meetings in Zoom. All of the recorded lectures are available to you right now. If you do need to meet with me in Zoom for office time, or if you have questions that we can't work through via email, we can meet in Zoom. Just let me know when you need to do it. I'm pretty flexible. So anyhow, without further ado, welcome back to school. I know it's been a good month or so off, so happy new year to you first off. So hopefully you're ready to rumble here. Like I say, it's going to be a fast 7 weeks. I have it set up so you're going to have to manage your time and just keep going. Don't procrastinate. And again, if you need help, reach out to the student success or student services. They can help you virtually, or you can go to any of the main 4 campuses if you need assistance that way. So I think all of you have probably had G2S or Gateway to Success. So you're somewhat familiar with Blackboards and the inner workings of Blackboard. Some of you may be taking G2S right now. So you'll be, or this semester, so you'll be learning about Blackboard. So anyhow, it's pretty straightforward. The announcements are always going to be your opening screen whenever you log in, and all of the announcements that I put out, you'll receive an email. So the announcements, basically kind of a log of this for the semester of any announcements that I put out there. The syllabus tab, if you click that, that will take you to a couple of different spots to click on. You have the general A&P syllabus and then the course calendar. If you click on general A&P syllabus, it'll take you to a new window. I use Google Docs for a lot of items. So anyway, if you need to print it or make your own copy of it, you can come over to File, click that, and you can click Make a Copy if you want your own copy in Google Sheets or Google Docs. If you want to download a Word doc of it, you could do that. Certainly, if you want to print, you can also print. But anyway, you always have access to the syllabus. There are a couple of things you need to know in here. Certainly the course name and number and all that good stuff. The end date is 3/5. So I have to turn in grades by midnight on the 7th. So really you want to try to have everything to me by at least the 6th, even if you're into the 7th, maybe, but try to have everything done by the 5th. Again, I know at 7 weeks, it flies by. So anyhow, my email address is there. If you do need to meet with me in Zoom, there's a link back in Blackboard. Let's see, right here, Zoom office link. If you click that, it'll take you right to my Zoom office. So email me and we can set up a time if you need help. And then that's how you would get into to the Zoom room. I do have office hours in Zoom on Tuesdays from 12 to 2. So if you have time and that fits into your schedule, I have that set aside that I'll always be available to meet in Zoom. I'll also be on the Elkhorn campus between 5 and 6 p.m. As well. So, and actually that's going to be, I'll fix that right now. That's going to be on Wednesdays. So Tuesdays in Zoom from noon to 2. But again, we can do it by appointment. You just have to email me and we can set something up that way if you need help. So anyhow, pardon me. All right. So as we go, you have a course description. This is generally in P. So really, we don't focus too much on the P part. We focus more on the A part. So we'll be looking almost exclusively at different structures of the body, and we'll go system by system. We don't use a text that you have to pay for, so that's nice, although you can purchase a hard copy of the OpenStax text. So if you click that OpenStax text link, it'll take you to the OpenStax site. We'll get into that in a few minutes, but there's also a link in Blackboard that you can get to OpenStax that way. I mean, after you look through the syllabus once, you may not go back to it again till maybe toward the end of the semester. The grading scale is in here, but generally everything is broken down for you and accessible through Blackboard. But anyway, visible body courseware. We use visible body. I think I sent out an email with a link for our class. I noticed a few of you have already signed in to visible body, so you'll want to do that as well. Course, in fact, almost not quite half, 450 out of 1,200 points or so comes from the visible body virtual quizzes. So you do need to make sure that you purchase that. There is I think a 7-day or 14-day free trial that you can do in the meantime. But anyway, the visible body, I'll talk about that more in just a second. Course outcome summary, that's going to take you to basically the objectives and kind of the step-by-step items that we are going to check off this semester. So you can take a peek at that as well. I also, again, have that in Blackboard. In fact, under that syllabus tab is a link that'll take you right to that course outcome summary. So if you're having a little bit of trouble falling asleep at night, just pop that baby open, and maybe that'll be a quick cure for your insomnia. Just read through that. But anyhow, no, in all seriousness, it does have some of the basics of what we need to get done this semester. So again, in Zoom 12 to 2, course attendance. Again, this is a fully online course, so attendance isn't required. There really is nothing to attend except you logging into Blackboard. I would say at least every day for the next 7 weeks. So you're about 40 to 50 times you should probably log in to Blackboard and just do a little bit every day when you get a chance. Because like I say, time does go fast. 1,220 is the upper points limit. So I have broken down kind of the grade range. I think most of you need to be around the B range. So you want to be in the low 80s at the very least. So right around 1,000 points is what you need for your B. I also wanted to remind you, I know some of you have possibly already done this, but there is a 7-week advanced section of A&P that begins right after this one ends. So that registration is open for that. Like I say, I'm not teaching it, but I can see how many students have registered, and I think it's like 13 to 15 or so last time I looked. And I think it's limited to 24. So again, that's kind of the next logical step. If you get through this 7 weeks in general, you're going to want to register probably now. Like I say, some of you already have, but you're going to want to register for that advanced section that begins right after this one ends and basically finishes the last 7 weeks of the semester. Then you get your whole A&P cycle done in 14 weeks. So that's really nice. But anyway, just a reminder to do that if that's your plan. So assignment wise, and again, I'll talk about these coming up. There are a couple of little Padlets to do. And again, if you had Gateway to Success, I believe you probably or possibly did Padlets, but anyway, they're very straightforward. It's like a wiki board, kind of like a discussion board. Unit lab assignments, visible body quizzes, and the final exam. So again, I'll talk about all of those in just a few minutes in more detail, but that's how you get to your 1,220 points. A couple of key dates for you guys. The last day to drop is actually pretty quick, and this means you can drop from the class without any penalty for financial aid penalties. I think on your grade transcripts, it doesn't even show up. It's just that basically you never, you don't get charged. You might get charged a little bit. I'm not sure, but I know you don't get penalized in your transcripts or any of your grading stuff. So that's, if you have to drop the class, you only have about a week to do that. So within that first week, if you're pretty sure that 7 weeks is just too much, I do teach an OSync 14-week general class as well. So if this 7 weeks you think might be a little too much, I teach this exact same class, but in a 14-week cycle as well. So, anyway, if you're going to do that, you need to do that really soon within the first week. And don't just do it. You need to email me and let me know. But again, try to get the 7 weeks. You can get it done. Snip, snap. You just have to keep your time management. I have it laid out very nicely for you to be able to achieve that success within that 7 weeks. And then you move on and you do the advanced in 7 weeks. So, but anyway, that kind of life jacket or parachute or whatever, if you feel like you're falling, is available. Now, if within the first week you haven't done anything, you haven't logged in to Blackboard, within this 5-day period, I will drop any students that haven't logged into Blackboard at all. So again, it's basically to kind of to save you from having to pay, or to get penalized in your transcripts down the road, because in a 7-week course, if you haven't logged in the first week, you're almost like 2-3 weeks behind at that point in a regular semester. So final grades are due the 7th of March. So again, you have to have everything into me hopefully before then. And then because again, the 8th is when that advanced 7-week course starts right up. So and then you can withdraw as well. You get a grade of a W, and that's the 23rd of February. So really right there toward the very end, about week 5 or 6. So hopefully we don't have to worry about any of these dates. Most of the time students don't. Well, obviously the final grade due date, everybody's interested in that. But these other ones, most of the time students don't generally have to worry about. I do have a course calendar, which again, I've got a link for that. We'll look at that coming up in just a second. The rest of this syllabus is standard for the whole college, so you can certainly go through that on your own. I don't want to take up too much of your time, but I do want to mention just a couple of items. If you do need help or you need assistance, again, you want to reach out to any of these college resources. So that's really probably the most useful aspect of this syllabus once you get past the grading scale and all the stuff you have to do. But, if you do have a learning disability, or if you just need some tutoring, whatever it might be, maybe you need help paying your phone bill, they can help you with that too. So again, reach out to me if you're unsure where to turn, if you do need any type of assistance. So anyway, you can read through that on your own. Again, we do still require masks on campus at all times. So if you are on campus for any reason, you want to make sure you wear your mask. All right. So anyway, let's keep her moving. Again, I want to give you as much help and guidance with the introduction of how to get through Blackboard and what to expect from the course without taking up too much of your time. So anyway, the syllabus tab, if I click course calendar, it's going to open a Google sheet that looks like this. And again, I just have it broken down into the 7 weeks. I have the textbook and all of the objectives broken down into 5 units. So, again, 7 weeks, 5 units. So you can do the math. It's right around a week per unit with a little bit of extra to spare at the end. So yeah, you're going to be doing a lot of actions. These 5 to 7 weeks are going to fly by. So anyhow, you're going to look through it. And again, when students ask, oh man, I OpenStax 5 chapters in 1 week, there's no way I could, OpenStax in any textbook that we use, especially in science, we don't expect students to read it word for word, cover to cover. The way OpenStax works, and I'll show you in a few minutes a little bit more about OpenStax, but it's very user friendly. It's basically almost like a Google kind of website dedicated just to anatomy and physiology. So it has its own search engine built within it. So when you're doing your assignments, when you're trying to figure out maybe some labeling, you can just go right into OpenStax, type into the search, and it'll pull up right in the textbook what it is that you're looking for. So again, it's a resource. It's not it's not a novel. It's not Huckleberry Finn or whatever. You're gonna read it cover to cover. Not me, probably wouldn't read that cover to cover anyway. But anyway, Visible Body Labs. Again, we'll look at what that means in just a few minutes. You have several short quizzes to do in Visible Body regarding labeling, and they're very short quizzes, or 10 questions each. So you'll want to do those. So you have about 5 or so, maybe 6, 8 quizzes to do each week. So in Visible Body. Again, they're very short. You'll have unlimited attempts. The highest grade or highest score is kept and put into the grade book. So anyhow, this is these are the units and the path we go. I have YouTube lectures for each unit. Now, this YouTube lectures heading, if you go to that, it'll take you to our course playlist. So this has all of the lecture videos within it. So as that pops up and populates, there we go. So it's got all of the unit 1A, B, C, etc. It has a few other videos in here as well, but primarily it sticks to each unit and the associated video. So again, unit 1, which goes with this, is going to have 4 videos, or anywhere from a half hour to an hour or so, maybe a little longer in some spots. But yeah, just going to go through each of these items. So those are the videos you're going to want to watch. So for each week, I would, and again, you can watch them, you can listen to them if you want. They go with the PowerPoint slides as well. I basically just go right through the PowerPoint slides, and I'll show you where those are as well. So anyway, that's what's going on with the syllabus and the course calendar. The textbook information, again, if you click that tab, it'll show you a couple of links. This will take you right to the OpenStax textbook. So if I click that, it'll open up. There we go. So there's our textbook kind of main page. And again, you can view it online. X that out. There we go. So that's the table of contents. You can just view it as it is, like I say, like a web page. I have the OpenStax app on my phone and tablet, so I can look at it on my phone as well. You can also download a PDF of it if you want, for whatever reason. You can order a print copy or hard copy. I believe our bookstore may have hard copies as well. So if you really like having a hard copy of a text, then certainly you can attain that. I think Amazon has them too. They're like 50, 60 bucks, I bet. So if you click table of contents, again, it has each of the chapters. And again, all of these chapters align over here with each unit that we're doing. So notice we do skip chapter 16. We also skip 24 and 26. Now, again, you'll notice as you go through some of these chapters and scan them, that this is an anatomy and physiology text. So the physiology aspect is also going to be in there. You do not really need to worry about much of that for this semester. Physiology comes in. That's basically the study of how things work. So it's a little more chemistry oriented, and that's going to be your advanced A&P course. So So for now, when you come across any physiology stuff, you could probably just kind of go right past it and just focus really again on structures. So that's the big kind of focus this 7 weeks, is looking at the different structures of the human body. So anyhow, there's the table of contents for unit 1 and chapter 1 specifically. So it's going to go through just basics. What is anatomy and physiology? What is some of the terminology? And again, you'll want to watch the videos that I have in there as well. I go through all of this step by step. So kind of along with the open stacks, you'll want to watch those. And then, within each chapter, at the end, there are key terms. You can look at those and go through those, a chapter review. I often encourage students, and I'll click that, I'll open that up. The chapter review, we think of a review as coming toward at the end of looking at a chapter or learning something. And that's exactly what a review is. But you could also, because this OpenStax reviews are very simple, they're not super detailed, which is nice. I encourage students to kind of use these as a preview. So you may want to go and actually, instead of just diving right into the first chapter and the first section, you maybe would want to go into the chapter review first. I know it seems counterintuitive, but give it a shot and see what you think. Again, it just gives you kind of a whoop. OpenStax is causing a little bit of a lag. So there we go. So anyway, you can look at the reviews and it gives you some maybe more condensed info about what you're looking for. There are also some review questions as well as critical thinking questions in there. And again, those aren't required. I mean, OpenStax is again, it's a resource. It's a very good resource. So use it however you wish. Visible body course link. This is one you have to use. So you do need to purchase this. Again, I see 5, I think there were a few of this, 6 or 8 of you have already logged in and registered with Visible Body. So that's good. What you'll need to do from just start right at the top and go down. So getting started with Visible Body, you'll want to do this little getting started quiz. Again, it's very, very straightforward. It's just kind of how do you use Visible Body? And again, all of the quizzes in here are set for unlimited attempts and the highest score kept. So make sure you do those. If you're not happy with your score, you could certainly retake them if you'd like. So anyway, once you get started and get some of the basics down with that, you can there's some basic guides to the beginning stuff, some of the terminology and the body regions and that. No quizzes for that little section there. So you're going to do the first 5. It goes over here. Now they're not numbered in Visible Body, notice, okay, but I number them over here. Visible Body Labs 1 through 5. So the first 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And again, integumentary system is the last thing we do in unit 1. And there you see integumentary system, the last thing that shows up with Visible Body as what you need to do, okay, for unit 1. All right. So anyway, so when we look at cells and metabolism, whenever you see graded quizzes, those are the quizzes you want to do. So some of these have one graded quiz underneath it when we open them. Some have multiples. So you want to do these graded quizzes the whole time. So 7 weeks, you're going to have 45 of these, which seems like a lot, but it really isn't. They only take maybe 5 to 10 minutes. Some may take a little longer to do, depending on your aptitude with how comfortable you are. You can have multiple windows open. Use your phone. Use your book. Use whatever resources you have available to you to take these quizzes. Okay. So if I click that, it's going to take me. So this first one, I've got 3 graded quizzes to do. So again, they're fairly straightforward. If you're struggling with any of the questions, again, they're multiple choice and you get to take them over and over again. So part of that process is repetition when it comes to learning. So seeing these questions multiple times. Now, before you do the graded quizzes, notice it's the last thing under each folder. You want to open up modules and practice quizzes. And again, you don't have to do the practice quizzes. I would recommend it, but you don't have to. But I would start right at the top, introduction, cells and tissues, just open that up and read right through, and it'll give you all the info you need to do, or that you need to do the quizzes. So so anyhow, that's how visible body works. It's a not virtual reality. You can use, I think, a augmented or virtual reality if you're using an Apple, an updated like iPad or something, or maybe even an iPhone. But yeah, it's multi-dimensional. It's kind of like an extra text resource as well, so that's nice. So anyway, once you click that, it'll open up. So I just clicked Introduction to Cells and Tissues. And sometimes visible body has a little bit of lag too. It does use up quite a bit of juice. So anyway, here you are. So just go right down and start at 1.1, and it'll just take you right through each one. Down here, it's got a little video right there, which should be a video. You can take notes on each slide if you want. Cell functions, so you'll learn different cells depending on what body system they're associated with, perform different actions. So bone cells, if you click each one, it'll kind of highlight the body system it's talking about. If you come up here, you can open the little book. There we go. Click the little book and it'll give you kind of a definition of whatever term it shows up here. So anyway, that's visible body just in a nutshell. The whole thing goes through, and you can peel back layers of different structures. So here's a basic cell. So if I want to look at the cell membrane, I can click cell membrane. It'll highlight it. If you're using a touch screen, my laptop's a touch screen, so I can move the image around if I want. I can zoom in as well. So if you have a tablet or a cell phone, visible body works really well for that. And again, as you're looking at each item, you can click the little book and it'll give you a nice definition of what's going on. So that's visible body in a nutshell. Let's see. So everything's going to be under assignments. Okay. So cell metabolism, and then tissues. Again, you'll have a short little deal with tissues, and then a graded quiz for tissues. And again, there's just going to be one there. Notice it says graded quizzes, so that implies there's more than one under there. This one for tissues, there's just one graded quiz. And then finally, you'll have integumentary system with a couple of graded quizzes in there. So anyway, that's unit 1 for visible body. Yeah. So that's the textbook info. I got a little bit ahead of things, but I think that that should be okay. Let's see, student resource. Oh, instructor info. If you click that, it'll take you out to a little bit of background of where I'm coming from and what my deal is. So you can look at that if you'd like. And again, if you need anything, just send me an email, and we can either meet in Zoom or communicate in email that way. Student resources, this may be really helpful as well. Again, especially in a 7-week course, if you need to figure out how to get virtual tutoring, it has some of that info, how to join Zoom, how to email through Blackboard. So that's several of the student services, campus resources, campus life, counseling. So this is a great folder full of student resources for you. So if you need anything that way. Now, lab safety, we don't meet obviously face to face, so we don't do any wet labs, but I have this in here. So I'd like you, it's extra credit. So, I mean, if you want to do it, I'll give you 10 extra credit points. If you don't do it, it's not a big deal. But it certainly won't hurt because at some point you'll be in a lab setting, in a wet lab setting, especially with some of your nursing classes, and all of you will have to take microbiology too at some point. So anyway, the lab safety training is pretty much the same across the board. So you can watch a little PowerPoint slide there, and then there's a checklist document that goes with it, and then just a little quiz that again, it's extra credit. So if you want to do it, go for it. Zoom office link, again, that'll just take you, if you need to meet me in Zoom, that's how you get there. This OpenStax link will take you right to the OpenStax text. Visible body course link take you right into visible body. So boundless A&P is just another what's called an open resource, free online e-text. So just another resource. If you want to use that, you're certainly welcome to. And then really this next couple of spots in Blackboard where we're going to find some of the basics for the rest of the semester. I've got each unit, all 5 units, located in here under the units tab, and you'll see unit 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 folders, and then the final exam there at the bottom. So which we'll talk about in just a second. So if you click and you open unit 1, you have directions for the sections. So you want to go to the Padlets, and there's a Padlet tab called Padlet quizzes. You can go there. Let's see, visible body course. Basically what I just went through with how to access visible body and what you're expected to do with the graded quizzes, etc. And then the assignments, which we'll talk about in just a few minutes. And again, our visible body link. And then here's some of the OpenStax resources. This just takes you to, these are just hyperlinks directly to the specific chapters and sections within OpenStax. And then finally, the Padlet links, 1, 2, 3, and 4 Padlet links can also be found under that Unit 1 tab. So that's under units. So you have a couple of things to do for each unit. You want to go through the Padlets. There'll be anywhere between 3 and 4 Padlets, and I'll show you those in a second. You're going to want to do an assignment as well, which I'll show you in just a few minutes. And then let's see, and then your visible body quizzes. So each unit, that's what you want to get taken care of. And then once you get down to the end, you're going to have your final exam, which is going to be 150 multiple choice questions. They're going to be from a 250 question test bank. There's a 3-hour time limit on it. All the questions will appear at once. You do have unlimited attempts, and the highest score will be recorded. So again, you could feasibly take this 50 times. You could take this every day for the next 7 weeks if you wanted to. I don't know why you would, but you could. So keep that in mind. You can take that. It's a final exam, but it's open. It's available. You can take it as many times as you want, starting whenever you want. Okay, so those are the units. And then I have the slides that I use in the video, the lecture videos are in here. I do have some dissections. Again, we don't meet in wet labs, but I figured I might as well leave these in here. You can look at them if you'd like. Again, they're not required, but they give you a little bit of insight into some of the dissections we do for a face-to-face wet lab course. But anyway, here are the slides. They're in Google Slides. So you click that and get Google Slides for this is Unit 1, Part 1, Unit 1A, the introduction. And again, if we go to our YouTube channel, course YouTube channel, or you can go back over here to your calendar, and there's the Unit 1A lecture. So you can click that and open it. And again, that PowerPoint that you'll see, I better pause that. There we go. That PowerPoint that we see that I discuss is the same one that's here. So, you know, you can watch this video here and view the PowerPoint that way. Okay. All right, so let's keep her moving. So that's all, those are all the slides. Oh, and I was going to mention too, within the slides on some of them, I do have, there's a notes section. It says click to add speaker notes. Some of these I do, there's one, some of these I have notes down there. So you know, they goes into a little more detail about what each of these is discussing. You can find that information down there as well. Okay, so let's see, those are Google Slides, of course, YouTube channel. All right, and then lastly, these are the hyperlinks for all of the items that you're going to need to do over these next 7 weeks, except for the visible body. That link you already have up here, visible body course link. But Padlet quizzes, so you're going to have a few of those. And again, I have the link to the Padlet itself, and then the Padlet quiz. Now the quiz is actually just a 1-question survey asking how helpful or beneficial the Padlet was for each of these body systems that you do. So it's basically a check off. So you're going to click Padlet 1, for instance, and you're going to see a series of different wikis or wiki board, and each one is a video. Now you can watch every single one of them if you want. You can watch one of them. It doesn't matter. You just pick one of them or watch all of them. And then you want to click one of these pluses down at the bottom. If I click a plus, it's going to come up with this. And for subject, you're going to want to type in your name. Subject. If you want to insert anything, or you know, some students find a link to a video or something, and they'll put that in there. So you could do that there, and then there we go. And then just type your opinion of whatever it is that you saw, or an anecdote, or a question even that you might have. A comment, whatever you want. It could be 1 sentence, it can be 10 sentences. Okay? And then once you're done, click publish. Okay? And you can go through, you'll notice some of these say anonymous. If you don't put your name in the subject line, make sure you put something with your name in your post. Some students you'll notice, let me see if I could find one. There we go. So there you can see Lori Tweenstra put her name in the subject line. Whereas right above here, you can see Stephanie Walmsley put her name in the comment section. So either way works. And then you've got a couple others. There we go. And then we also have some students open an account. So if you open an account, you'll have your name will automatically appear if you're logged in. You can still put it in the subject line, as you can see Caitlin did here. Okay, so anyway, again, you can watch one or all of them. And then once you do your post, you want to come in here, click Padlet quiz. I guess just one question. Click continue. Padlet videos and websites were beneficial to your understanding of introductory A&P concepts. So if you found the video that you watched, or the videos that you watch, or any of these Padlets to be helpful or beneficial, you can strongly agree, and either disagree, and so on. Say, and then click save and submit, and you're done with Padlet 1. 10 points in the books. Okay. So pretty straightforward. Some students, they come over to week 1 and they see, all right, we've got through integumentary, which if you go into the units up here, you'll find that it's the first 4 Padlets. So you can go in and just do all 4 Padlets at once if you want, potentially. So anyway, you have options with how you're going to approach getting your work done. But Padlets are the first thing that you'll want to do. They're very straightforward. They get you interested in the material, and they're extremely informative. So, all right, then the assignments aspect, you've got 5 assignments. Okay. If you click that, it'll take you to the it's a hyperlink basically within Blackboard. And again, everything's due by March 5th. So I prefer again that you've got, your due dates here as well. Unit 1 ends on the 24th, Unit 2 ends on the 31st, and so on. So I would try and have all of Unit 1 stuff done by the 24th. So anyway, you've got your assignments here. This is a Dropbox. If you're not familiar with how to use a Dropbox, I'll show you right now how to do it. You have a couple different options for these. Now, all of the assignments except for number 1 are going to be Word documents in here. So the first one I was able to make into a Google Doc. There are a lot of identification items to do. So sometimes the translation from my document that I have saved as a Word doc into Google Docs doesn't jive. So what you end up with is some issues regarding alignment. So anyway, so I'm going to open the if you click the Word doc, DOCX, it'll download it to your computer, and then you'll open it up. I'm actually going to open the Google Doc so you can see it's identical. So anyway, you're going to have something that looks like this. Now, all 5 of these assignments are going to look the same, except obviously for the information. And what but what you need to do is going to be the same throughout. Now, it's a little bit intimidating initially, and I don't want you to get bogged down with part 1. You guys, we only have 7 weeks. This is really just a checklist of terms that we do for each unit. So in Unit 1, these are the basic terms that you go through and that you'll see as you read through OpenStax, as you go through visible body. These are all the terms that you're likely going to see. I don't need you to put definitions in over here. In 7 weeks, there's not enough time in the day for you. Now, if this was a 14-week course, you would be doing these as a group and doing these together, either in class or in breakout rooms. We would be doing this as a group, but in a 7-week asynchronous, fast-paced course, I really just want you to see this just a checklist. You can go right past it if you want. I'm not going to grade you on whether you did these or not. And I'm not going to give you extra credit if you do them either. Right? You probably, if you're going to go through and do all of these, you probably don't need the extra credit. So you're probably going to get an A anyway. So anyway, take it for what it's worth. You can go through and do some of them. You can do none of them, but at least scan through and some students, what they've done in the past with my 7-week course is they'll just go through and maybe highlight them as they see them in OpenStax or as they come across them. So they'll have this window open and they'll have, and as they're studying, and then they'll put a check mark, or they'll put, the page number, maybe that they found it, in OpenStax. Okay. And by the way, too, all of my documents, if they're Google Docs, they're read only or view only. So again, if you want your own copy, you just click File and then Make a Copy. And then you'll have your own copy that you can type right into. But again, for most of these, you're going to be downloading the Word document and typing into that. Okay, so part 1, definitions, don't worry about that too terribly much. Part 2 kind of goes with visible body. There's going to be some identification stuff primarily. There's a few short answer questions. Again, you can go through and answer those, but I'm primarily looking at for all of these assignments, I'm looking at the identification aspects. So this is what I'm more or less grading you on. So the 100 points you get for each unit assignment are going to be based on the identification stuff. Okay, so you want to make sure that's what you focus your energy on. When you see these short answer questions, or like I say, the definitions at the top, I mean, you can do them. I recommend doing them, but that's not what I'm grading you on. Okay, I'm grading you on this type of stuff here, identification. Okay, and then there you got cell, and then tissues, and these are tough. The tissues are going to be a little bit tricky. So again, you're going to want to watch my videos. You're also going to with tissues, it's got to be one of 4 major tissue types, and then there'll be some subcategories. So you're going to see when you study tissues, you're going to have epithelial tissue, and then a few different types, connective tissue, a few different types. Okay, then you're going to have muscle or muscular tissue, and then 3 types of that, and then finally you'll have nervous tissue, and that's the only type. So so basically what you have in your tissue studies are probably roughly 15 or so options of tissue types. Okay, I gave you the 4 major categories, but again, there are subcategories underneath those. So total, you have a rough 12 to 15 options. So, so you could go into the Google machine and Google, simple cuboidal epithelium, and you'll get a Google image that some of them, or one of them, is going to look a lot like this one here. So then just type in simple cuboidal. You can type in blood. Blood is a type of connective tissue. And then you'll see, oh, wow, this one, blood looks a lot like this one. Okay. And so on. Cardiac muscle is a type of tissue. So you Google image that and you'll see, oh my gosh, one of these looks a lot like cardiac muscle tissue. Oh, there it is right there. It's got the little intercalated discs. If you type in nervous tissue, you'll get something maybe that looks a lot like this. So again, I'm not a stickler on these. I want you to attempt them, and I can tell when students have made an attempt or have just glossed right over. So again, you type in pseudostratified tissue, type in hyaline cartilage, type in elastic cartilage, fibrocartilage, adipose. All of that is stuff we discuss in the tissue chapter. I have the PowerPoint with all the different tissue types. I have images as well. Visible Body has images. That's where a lot of these came from. So you'll be able to type in bone tissue, and one of these will match exactly up with bone and what it looks like. So anyway, that's what's going on with tissue. And then lastly, in unit 1 is skin. So you'll go through and this comes right from Visible Body. So you'd find the Visible Body image, looks like that, or you could even Google skin or integumentary system diagram, and it'll come up with something like that, and just go through and type right in what it is. Okay, so again, you can, this is in a Google Doc. Most the other 4 assignments 2 through 5 are not Google Docs. They're regular Word docs. So you'll download those and you can type right into them. And then once you finish typing into the document, you need to put it, save it as your own, and then you're going to put it into the Dropbox. So it says attach files. You can click browse local files, and we'll just, oh, there it is right there, downloads. So then you can either just highlight it and click open, and it'll attach it right in, and then you hit submit and you're done. Okay, the other thing you can do is you can open that and you can grab it and drag it and drop it. You can see how it highlights purple. Let it go and it's in there, and then you X that out and hit submit. So that's how you do a Dropbox. Very straightforward. You can just click browse local files, find your file. And again, when you open browse local files, you probably saved your document in your documents file. If it's something you just downloaded, like this assignment, then it's going to be under downloads, but you haven't typed anything into it. So don't attach that one. Otherwise, you'll just be attaching a blank, the assignment just as we looked at it without anything typed in. So once you open it up and you fill it out, then you just want to find it, save it to your documents, find it, drag it, drop it, and click submit. So you'll have 5 of those to do. Again, they all are the same. You want to focus on the second half of the assignments, and that is the labeling portion. Okay, so you've got some Padlet quizzes, you've got some labeling, you've got those visible body quizzes we just talked about. And then the last thing, again, is going to be that final exam. You've got unlimited attempts. It's got a clock of 3 hours, a timer of 3 hours. Once 3 hours hits, if you're still taking it, it'll just submit it. So, but again, you have unlimited attempts. So, but anyhow, it gives you all the questions at once, and they're from a test bank. So you can take it a few different times and you might get different questions each time. Okay. Get out of there. There we go. Actually, I'm going to see if I can set that to open in a new window. All right. So that's what's going on. 7 weeks. It's going to fly by. Again, start off with your course calendar. Make sure you've purchased Visible Body, but start off with your course calendar and just go week by week. And if you do that, you get everything done, you'll actually be done 2 weeks early. But again, you've got 5 units to do, and you've got 7 weeks in which to do them. And if you have questions, just reach out to me via email, and I'll help you any way that I can. I know it's a lot of information in 7 weeks, but you can do it. Many students have done it. I've got it set up for your success. As long as you keep your time management in order and you take care of everything in that respect, you'll be just fine. Again, if you need anything, if you need time management help, reach out. I can help you as much as I can. I can get you connected with the professionals at school that help with tutoring and other resources for academics. So, and again, if you're planning on doing the second 7-week advanced section, you need to go ahead and take care of that and get registered as soon as possible, because like I say, it's got limited seats and it's filling up. So, but other than that, have a great 7 weeks, and let me know if you need anything, and I'll do what I can to help you.